The council chamber was full and cold. 10,000 eyes watched a dying star. On a great screen, a red wave moved across space like a wall of fire. It raced toward a small blue world named Ariel. If the wave hit, the oceans would boil and the cities would fall. No fleet launched. No empire moved. They waited for orders. They waited to see who would act first. They waited, and the red wave grew. Far away, a human ship woke from quiet drift. Its name was Lighthouse. The hull was plain. The heart was brave. The captain stood in a narrow room with 2 screens. On the left, Earth shone like a patient lamp. On the right, Ariel spun in fear. Between them, a timer ticked down. He knew the choice. If Lighthouse took Earth's shield core, Earth would be open to any sword in the dark. But if they did not take it, the Ariel would die. He spoke to his crew over the ship's intercom. "We can keep the core on Earth and be safe," he said, "or we can fly with it and save strangers." Silence followed, the kind that shows respect. The crew already knew their answer. They had known it before he asked. In the council chamber, small voices rose. "Humans will stall," one said. "Humans love speeches," another said. "They will not risk their home." The timer did not slow. On Earth, huge clamps released with a low thunder. The shield core lifted from the cradle that guarded the planet. It rose like a small sun, white and steady. Dock arms carried it to Lighthouse's belly. Locks clicked, seals formed. Heat bled into the ship's ribs. Earth's own shield dimmed. The night sky over the old cities grew darker by one strong light. Every watcher in the council saw the numbers change. A murmur moved across the chamber like wind in grass. The captain walked the length of the ship. He passed the flight deck, the mess hall, the quiet bunks. He put a hand on shoulders. He looked into eyes. He did not speak long words. He said simple things. "Thank you. I see you. We will get there." In the mess, a young pilot traced the wave on a tablet. "If we are late by 5 minutes," she said, "it is over." "We will not be late," the engineer said, but his hands shook around his cup. He was not afraid to die. He was afraid to fail. The captain reached the bridge. He looked at the Ariel distress packet again. It showed green rings of land, blue seas like eyes, and white cities by water. It also showed a small, ugly file. Years ago, Ariel scouts had crossed into human space and fired first. The old pain was still there, quiet but alive. He closed the file. "We go anyway," he said, engines stirred. Vents opened, lights dimmed to travel mode. The ship turned its nose to the dark road between stars. Across the galaxy, 1,000 screens lit up. Captains, ministers, pirates, and farmers watched the human ship line up for its first jump with a planet's shield core bolted to its bones. "Humans are dramatic," a counselor said. "Humans are dangerous," another said. "Humans are about to be late," a third whispered. "Jump." "1," the navigator called, space bent. The stars stretched and snapped back. The ship groaned, as if it remembered every storm it had ever crossed. The new core pushed against its mount, bright and hot, not made for travel, yet willing to try. "Hold together," the engineer said. He spoke to the ship like it was a child struggling to walk. The ship listened. The bolts sang but did not break. The captain opened a channel to the council and to anyone who cared to listen. His voice was calm and plain. "This is humanity," he said. "We move without payment. We move without debt. We move because life is worth the push." Some in the chamber laughed. Some looked away. But some stood. A few placed hands over hearts. The red wave rolled on. "Jump 2, the navigator said. Numbers danced on the board. Heat crawled along conduits. The timer dropped fast, then too fast, then not fast enough. "Coil stress rising," the engineer said. "We can make one more safe jump, sir." After that, we risk the core and the ship. The captain watched the Ariel world on the screen. He saw children in a clip running under a green arch by the sea. He saw a market, and a woman lifting fruit to smell it, and a man who smiled with his eyes. He saw people. He saw a future that would vanish if they were late. "We are not a museum," he said. "We are a light." He looked at his crew. No one begged for safety. No one looked at the floor. They had already chosen when the clamps opened over Earth. "Burn the last safe jump," he said. For one breath, the bridge was still. Then the crew answered as one. "Aye," thrusters flared. The ship leaned into the dark. Every alarm sang at once. Frames shook. The core blazed like a caged star. In the council hall, The wave and the ship moved on the same screen now, a red wall and a small point of light racing each other. Lighthouse fell into the final jump. The screens went white, and for a long moment, no one in the universe knew if they would ever see home again. They fell out of the last jump into a broken place. The stars looked like ice with cracks. Dead ships drifted here, old hulls and silent flags. The map called it the Grave Road. The lighthouse slowed. The core under her belly glowed white and angry, held by steel bones that shook with each breath. All alarms at once, the engineer said. His name was Ivan, but the crew called him Ava. Sweat ran down his neck. Drive coil is cracked. Not a line, a fork. The crack crawled across the metal like frost. If it split, the ship would rip herself apart. On the med deck, the rescued pirate pilot woke. She was small and sharp-eyed, with a scar under one eye. Name? The nurse asked. Riss, she said. Where are you taking that son? To Ariel, the nurse said. Riss stared at the ceiling. You are late, she said. On the bridge, the captain watched the Grave Road. It was not still. Dark dots moved between the bones. Hooks lit, nets open. Pirates. Signal on broadband, the comms officer said. She tapped her earpiece. A rough voice filled the air. Human ship. Drop the shiny core. This road has a toll. No, the captain said. His voice was plain, the kind that did not need to rise. He looked at the crew. No wide fire. Target only hooks and engines. The pirates came fast. Black arrows with cold lights. They fired nets that could cut even bright metal. The lighthouse rolled. Gun crews worked with short bursts, clean and small. Nets burned. Hooks broke. One pirate ship spun and slept. Another lost power and drifted away, lights dying like tired eyes. Pod at 2 o'clock, the navigator said. Single life sign. Catch it, the captain said. Ava's hands fluttered. Sir, the coil. Catch it, the captain said again. The pod hit the hull with a hollow sound. Riss came out breathing fast. She looked at human faces. No one shouted at her. No one hit her. A medic gave her water. She did not understand. Why save me? She asked the captain when he came. Because someone must start, he said. Do you want to help? She looked at the map. She looked at the crack. She nodded once. The Grave Road is a trap, Riss said. Red Knife runs it. He will slow you here and push you to the Black Gate. There he will take the core whole. He will not even scratch the paint. Another path? The captain asked. Riss pointed at a dark channel between cold clouds. The ice corridor, she said. Between comet tails. It is fast, it is sharp. Your coil will scream. Ava put both hands on the console. He was tired. He was proud. We will brace the coil, he said. How? The navigator asked. Ava looked at the sleep pods down the hall. There were 20. With ours, he said. We will cut the pods. We will weld their frames to the drive spine. The ship will sleep on her feet. They moved. Sparks flew. The ship smelled like hot iron and clean fear. Crew gave up their bunks for the spine. Bolts went in. Ribs grew around the coil like a cage of patient hands. Riss worked too. She knew pirate nets. She knew the sound of a hidden hook. Twice she shouted, down! And a thin line of cutting light passed where heads had been. The council watched. Their great chamber was quiet, like a church before rain. On the wide screen, a red wave still moved toward Ariel. Numbers turned from hours to minutes. A few leaders sent small drones called mirrors to follow the human ship. The mirrors glowed like beads. They did not help. They only watched. In the mess hall, the young pilot traced lines with a spoon on the table. We are late, she said. We are not late, Ava said. He did not look up. He wrapped a pipe with white tape that smoked and turned gray. We are alive. Riss sat at the edge like a shadow. She looked at a small screen, a tiny old clip of Ariel children running under a green arch by the sea. My crew took food from this world, she said. We told ourselves it was tax. It was theft. The captain heard her. He did not judge. Then help pay it back, he said. They entered the ice corridor. The ship shivered like a bird in cold rain. Comet tails brushed the hull and left streaks of pale blue light. Tiny ice rocks hit the glass like dry hail. The coil screamed. The new ribs held. Temperature rising, Ava said. We must bleed heat or the core will cook the mount. Bleed from where? The captain asked. Ava looked at the life tanks. From us, he said. We will dump Hab heat to the spine. Turn the ship cold. The heaters went low. Breath smoked in the air. Fingers went numb in gloves. The crew worked anyway. They smiled with white lips. The ship grew quiet, like snow in winter. Outside, a shadow moved. It was too smooth. It did not drift like a rock. It matched their course. Knife mine, Riss said. It cuts not metal, signal. It listens for your name and then breaks your voice. If we lose voice, the comms officer said, the core AI will not hear us. The captain thought for one beat. Give it our voice, he said. But in many pieces. They split the command stream into small pulses over many lines. Guidance, ballast, even the coffee maker. The mine listened for a single bright shout. It heard rain instead. It did not bite. They left the ice corridor with a final shake. Behind them, the grave road faded. There was no time to rest. Contact from Ariel, comms said. Civilians on open band. Priests, teachers, children. Asking if we are real? The captain listened to a small voice. It was a child. Is the light coming? The child asked. It is here, the captain said. The map showed the red wave now like a knife at the planet's throat. Clouds rolled on Ariel. The cities by water glittered. The human ship fell toward orbit like a nail to a board. Deploy, the captain said. Panels opened under the lighthouse. The core unlocked with a deep tone. It slid into space, held by lines of light like strings on a harp. The planet turned. The wave roared. A problem, Ava said. His voice was very calm, which scared everyone. The old field towers on Ariel are broken. Too many are dead. The core alone cannot hold a full shield. We need more nodes now. How many? The captain asked. Ava looked at the numbers. He swallowed. Dozens at least. Better. Hundreds. Where do we find them? The young pilot asked. Her hand shook, but her voice did not. Ava looked at the crew. At their suits. At their hands. At the tethers coiled like snakes by the airlock. We can be the nodes, he said. Human bodies in suits can carry field lines. We can lock to the frame and close the gaps by hand. Silence. The kind that is heavy. Outside, the wave grew brighter. The planet waited like a held breath. How long would we have to hold? The navigator asked. Ava did not answer. He looked at the timeline. It was not minutes. It was the kind of number that changes faces. Riss stood. I will hold too, she said. She spoke to the captain, then to the whole ship. I was the knife. Let me be the hand. The captain looked at his crew. He saw tired eyes and steady jaws. He saw fear, but it stood beside love, not behind it. He opened the ship-wide channel. His voice went to every deck, every suit, every heart. Listen, he said. The Ariel towers are down. If we want the shield to live, we must become the missing parts. There will not be enough time to fix and flee. There will not be enough fuel to run and return. He paused. The wave filled the window now. It was red and terrible and beautiful, like a sunrise that wanted to kill. This is the choice, he said softly. We can let strangers die and go home safe. Or we can hold the line and finish the shield. No one moved. No one coughed. They all knew their answer. They had known it when the clamps opened over Earth. Suit up, the captain said. All hands to the frame. The airlocks lit green. Tethers woke like silver snakes. The crew took their places by the doors. Riss stood among them, small and bright. The core pulsed. The planet turned. The wave lifted its red head, and the lighthouse opened her arms to the dark. The airlocks opened like bright mouths. Cold rushed in. Suits hissed and sealed. Tethers uncoiled like silver ropes. The crew moved to the outer frame of the lighthouse, one by one, in a calm line that looked like courage. Ava, the engineer, led the way. He clipped his boots to a rail and locked his gloves into a round metal ring. The ring glowed faint blue. Field node online, he said. His breath fogged the glass of his visor, then cleared. The young pilot took the next ring. Her hands shook once, then were still. Node online. Others followed. 20. 40. More. Human bodies became bright dots around the ship, each one a living wire. Suits would carry field lines. Hearts would carry the rest. Inside, Riss stood by the open lock. She wore a suit, too. She had asked to go out with them. The captain shook his head. You carry the voice, he said. Stay in the ship. Watch the numbers. Tell the truth. I was a knife, she said. Let me be a hand. You will be the hand that writes, he said. Please. Riss swallowed and nodded. She took the post at the relay board, eyes hard, mouth set. She would hate safety, and she would keep it. Far below, the planet Ariel turned. On hills and roofs and broken towers, The Ariel came out with coils and wires and old copper plates. Many were young, many were old. A teacher led a line of children to a cracked tower. They tied belts of wire around their waists and held hands. Their priest lifted a horn and spoke to the wind. "We will hold with you," she said to the sky. In the council hall, mirrors fed the live view to every seat. The red wave filled the far wall like a rising storm. Leaders did not speak now. They stood. Some put hands to hearts. Some bowed their heads. A pirate lord in a far den turned off his music and listened. "Core ready," Ava said. "Frame ready." "Human nodes at 93. Say it," the navigator whispered. The captain opened the ship-wide line. His voice went to every suit, every Ariel tower, every mirror in the hall. "This is the last order," he said. "Do not let go. No drum, no cheer. Only work." "Shield bloom," Ava said. The core slid away from the belly of the ship and hung over the planet like a white fruit. Lines of light ran from the core to the lighthouse frame, then from humans to the old Ariel towers, then down into the ground. The grid lit like a web. It began to sing, a low tone that made teeth buzz. The wave arrived. First came radiation, fast as thought. It hit the new shield and spread like red paint in water. The grid took it. Suits hummed. Teeth ached. No one let go. Next came pressure, airless wind, hot and invisible. It slammed the shield like a giant hand. The grid bowed. The ship creaked. Bolts screamed. A crack formed on ring 6. "Node 12 is failing," Riss said from the relay. Field thin. The young pilot looked to her right. Node 12 was a quiet cook named Jessa. Jessa's eyes were kind and wide. The young pilot pushed her own tether out and clipped to the next ring. "I can bridge it," she said. "Risk high," Ava warned. "Do it," the captain said. She reached, locked, and took the load. The line hit her like a punch. She coughed. She held. Jessa gave a small nod and moved one ring down to cover another gap. The grid held. Down on Ariel, the teacher's hands shook. The children did not let go. The wire belts hummed. Their tower lit. Old bricks glowed faint blue like river stones in moonlight. The wave thickened. It was not one wall. It was many. Heat fingers found weak points. Little fires walked along the frame. A feedline popped and curled like a dead vine. "Aft spine is hot," Ava said. His voice was calm, and that scared Riss more than a shout. "I am going to the coil." "You are at a node," the captain said. "Someone else can take my ring," Ava said. A hand reached from 2 rings down. It was the medic. "I have it." She pulled herself over, locked in, and took Ava's line. Ava unlocked, pushed on his tether, and fell like a slow stone along the spine to the drive heart. He wrapped his body around the coil case, clipped 3 times, and opened suit ports. Heat flowed through him like a river. He shook but did not make a sound. "Field loss at the North Arc," Riss said. Her fingers ran over the relay. 3 Ariel towers down. Flood damage. We need bodies there, now. "Ground teams," the captain called on open band. "We see your loss." "Who can move?" a voice answered. Old, thin, steady, a woman on the coast. "We can," she said. "We will run." They ran. On screen, small green shapes crossed a broken bridge and climbed a black hill. They carried coils on their backs. They wore wide belts. When they reached the tower, they tied in and held hands with strangers. The tower lit again. The North Arc returned. The grid sang. "Knife mine's waking," Riss said. She saw shadows near the shield, shapes that did not drift. "They are listening for our voice." "Split the command again," the captain said. "Lower power on band 4. Move a ghost signal to the coffee line." Riss smiled with tight lips. "Yes, Captain." She spread the ship's mind across many wires. Ballast lines, waste pumps, even the doorbells. The minds heard only rain and could not bite. The wave pressed harder. The grid bowed more. Lines turned white. Suits shook. Voices went rough. "Node 23 down," Riss said. "I have it," Jessa said. Her breath came in small gasps now. She shifted again, her arms slow, her fingers sure. A bolt snapped near the young pilot's boot. She looked at Earth in her mind and then at the blue world under her feet. "I see you," she whispered to the planet. "Hold with me." On the coil, Ava's hands would not obey. He spoke to them. Close, open, close. They obeyed when he asked soft. He opened a vent to space. Steam made a cloud that looked like breath in winter. Heat left the ship and made stars shine like knives. The council hall was silent. Some leaders cried. A few set their signet rings on the floor. Even the pirate lord leaned forward, elbows on knees, eyes red. "Time to peek?" the captain asked. Riss looked at the clock. She did not want to say it. "Peek now," she said. "Hold for 53 counts." "Count," the captain said. She counted. Her voice was a metronome for the whole ship. 1, 2, 3. The grid screamed on count 9. On count 20, a ring burned out and went dark. On count 33, a tower on Ariel broke at the base and fell. The people at its foot held the wire in their hands and became the tower until others came to brace them. 40, Riss said. Her voice shook. Jess's suit lights flickered. She smiled once at the young pilot, then looked at the planet and did not blink again. Her hands did not let go. 50, Riss said. Her breath hitched. 51, 52, 50. The pressure eased. The red faded like evening light. The grid straightened a little. The hum went down one note and then another. The wave passed the planet and moved on to a place where no one lived. "Hold for lag," Ava said. He was very tired now. "Hold for 10. Riss counted again, soft. 1, 2. On 10. The captain closed his eyes and opened his hand. "Stand down," he said very gently. No one moved. "Stand down," he said again. He knew many would not answer now. He did not ask a third time. The core dimmed. The harp lines went dark. The white fruit became a pale stone. The ship floated, light and still, like a leaf on a calm pond. Riss took off her gloves. Her fingers were white and shaking. She ran to the lock, sealed her suit, and pushed out along a tether. Space was quiet. Stars were clean. She found Ava on the coil. He looked like sleep. His line was triple-clipped. His hand still held the vent wheel as if it might ask again. She found the young pilot still locked to 2 rings. A small crack traced her visor like a thin smile. She faced Ariel. She moved around the frame. She touched helmets. She spoke names. She closed eyes that did not need closing. She did this until her voice was gone. On the ground, the Ariel gathered under the green arch by the sea. The teacher counted children. She was missing 2. She put her hands on the wire belt and cried and smiled at once. In the council hall, no one sat. Old laws felt thin in their mouths. A small leader from a far world raised a hand. "New law," she said. "Aid the small." Others said yes. A few said nothing. The pirate lord stood and took off his red knife and set it on a shelf. The lighthouse did not burn. It did not fall. It hung above Ariel and became what it was always named to be. A beacon. Riss stayed. She fixed what she could. She built little machines from spare parts and grief. She sent the story out on every band in simple words. She did not add beauty. She did not need to. The Ariel built a ring of lights in their sky. It was not a weapon. It was a wreath. Each light was named for a human who held a node. They called it the human halo. When children asked where to look for courage, parents pointed up. Years passed. The council kept the new law more often than not. Some forgot. Most remembered. When fleets argued about fuel and time, someone always said, "Think of the lighthouse." If you stand on the coast of Ariel at night, you can see the ship as a small star that does not move. If you listen on an old radio at the right hour, you hear one slow pulse, then a space, then another. It is a simple message and a simple code. We were here. Another space. Another pulse. Hold the line. Riss sits by the glass and listens to that pulse. Her hair's gray now. She keeps a small flag on the console. It is not a human flag and not a pirate flag. It is white, with a thin blue circle and a small dot in the middle. Visitors come from far worlds and ask her the same question. Why did they do it? She answers the same way every time with the same plain voice the captain used. Because someone had to start, she says, and they were not afraid to be first. She turns back to the board. The beacon blinks. Below, the sea lifts and falls. Above, the human halo glows like a crown, and the light stays.